Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to be learn the concept of valuation of shares. It is an important concept for your examination purpose, especially valuation of shares in ಕಲಿಯೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ examination point of view ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ important ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. From this chapter, there are going to be rise up two questions for section B and section C. Before moving to an actual concept, shall we discuss about what do you mean by valuation of shares? ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇಯರ್. ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆನ್ ಇಯರ್, we have a word called valuation of shares. We have a word called valuation of shares. Concentration on here, it is a process of ascertaining the intrinsic value. Valuation of shares is nothing but which is going to be ascertain the intrinsic value or the market value or the fair value of a shares of a company. On the company at present value ನನಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು obviously we are going to be use a method called valuation of shares. We are going to be use a valuation of shares for the purpose of to analyze the market value of a share. Share market ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನನಗೆ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ we are going to be use a valuation of share method. A simple meaning they may rise for the 2 marks question. It is a process of ascertaining the intrinsic value or the market value or the fair value of a shares of a company. On the company shares value na identification ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. To value the shares, we have a certain circumstances. The first one is the factors to be considered. The factors to be considered while valuing the shares. On the valuation of shares ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ certain circumstances ಇದೆ. We need to be follow a certain factors. In that, the first one we have nature of a business. Nature of a business. Nature of a business is much more important. Which kind of a business you are running, it is majorly important to make a valuation of a shares, whether the company is in the sounds of very large or in the sounds of very small. Means the overall capital investment of an organization is highest level, then it will be deals in the national stock exchange. If the overall capital structure is lesser, then it will be make a transaction in the Bombay Stock Exchange. Nature of a business we require before making a valuation of share, and their overall structure we require, and the stability of earnings of a company. Company stability ಏನಿದೆ earnings ಇಂದ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, that one is much more important for us. Before making any kind of value of a shares, we need to be analyze the stability, means profitability of a organization profit ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Then we have a earning capacity, whether that particular company have a earning capacity in the future ಅಲ್ಲಿ earning capacity ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ, we need to be identify that one. And the next one, capacity of a management of a company. Overall capacity. The overall capacity means whether the organization or a company is able to make a management within the organization. Overall management na ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಚೆಕ್ಔಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. And the demand and supply of a shares of a company. The demand and supply. Whenever you're going to make a valuation of a share, the demand and supply, we need to be go through it once, because if there is a huge demand for the product, then only it will be impact for the valuation of shares. Huge demand ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟಿನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಔಟ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ company. How the economic and political condition is going to be impact to the our organization. That one I need to be analyzed first before making any kind of a valuation of shares in the organization. The next one, we have a valuation of goodwill. It is also a kind of a concept where we are going to be analyze the worth of a goodwill, means name and fame of organization. We need to be analyze analyze the particular company before making of any kind of a valuing of shares procedure. The next one, progress of the company. I need to be analyze the progress, whether the company progress is towards the profit or loss. That one I need to be analyzed. And the next one, nature of competition. The company, whether it is created by the artificial intelligence or by the legal or by the common seal, or it is whether it has a transferred shares perpetual existing common seal. Each and everything I need to be identified, because before making any kind of evaluation of share, I need to be analyze the nature, whether the companies actually existed or not. That one I need to be get a pure fully information before moving for the valuation of shares. These are the important concept before making a valuation of shares. You need to be learned. Factors has been asked in the previous year question paper for the 6 marks. It is expected that for the 4 marks they can raise a question for you under Bangalore North University. The other university also have a same syllabus based upon your previous year question papers. If you are going to be referred, based on that you need to be take a input whether you need to be go through with this concept or not. The only the points has been given here. The in detail explanation you need to be provided by yourself. Come to the next one. The next one we have the methods of valuation of shares. To value the, to make a calculation of or to make a valuation of shares, to compute the valuation of shares, we have totally three methods. The three methods they have prescribed here. The first method he has given that, the first method he has given net asset method. Under net asset method, we are going to make a calculation of a valuation of share based upon the net asset method. Here we are going to make a comparison of asset along with liability. It is a main thing we require. Based upon the differences between the assets and liability, we are going to be identify the net value of a person. By making a comparison of this, you're going to be get the overall information or the amount which is available to the all the shareholders. That one we are going to be analyze here. We have a format for that to calculate net asset method. Along with that, we have a formula. Formula is there for the calculation purpose, that also have provided in this video itself. The next method we have yield method. Yield method, obviously we are going to be make use of calculation by using only the pure formulas. For the examination point of view, obviously will rise a question from the net asset method and the yield method. Net asset method is also known as intrinsic value method. It is another name of that one is intrinsic value method. Obviously, will raise a question for the 4 marks from the net asset method or from the yield method. There is a chances of raising a one question based on this concept, and another question for the 10 marks. By combination of this both net asset and yield method, he is going to be raise a 10 marks question. ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೀಲ್ಡ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಂದ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕಂಬೈನ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಗೆ. ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಯು ಟು ಬಿ ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ದ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಮಚ್ ಮೋರ್ ಈಸಿಯರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. The next method we have a earning capacity method. For your new, as per your new syllabus, this method has been removed. As per your new syllabus under Bangalore North University, this method has been removed. But also we are going to be learn this method. A simple formula is there. By applying that formula, we can also identify the earning capacity method of an organization. These three methods are much more important for you to make a valuation of a shares. In this class, we are going to be learn about the concept, first concept, that is net asset method. So concentration area, wait for a while. So concentration area. The first method is a net asset method. Whenever we need to be apply the net asset method, we need to be go through that information. If you are going to be look after to the meaning of net asset method, if any of a company who are engaged in making a transaction towards the capital intensive, if an organization is making any kind of a transaction based upon the capital investment, that too in the larger sector of a amount invested in the capital asset, those kinds of company, they will follow a net asset method. If a company is a capital incentive company and invested the large amount in the capital asset or a large volume of capital work in progress, those kinds of companies will follow the net asset method. To follow this method, we have a simple formula or a basic rule we have, that is a calculation table we have. If you're going to be look after here, we have a table to calculate the intrinsic value. I need to be make a comparison with the market value of assets and market value of a liability. If you're going to be look after to the assets information, obviously from the PU onwards, we are getting the information of the categories of assets and liability. It will be easy for you. Goodwill, land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, patents, motors, investment, cash in and cash at bank, sundry debtors, bills receivable, stock in trade, prepaid expenses. This all comes under the assets information. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ assets information ಅಲ್ಲಿ PU ಇಂದನೇ ನೀವು ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಇದನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ನೀವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. In this, you need to be deduct the liabilities. Even though you also know the list of the liabilities list ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. Here we have debentures, mortgage loan, unsecured loan, fixed deposit from the public if public has made any kind of a FDs, sundry creditors, bills payable, bank OD, and the next one unclaimed dividend, provision for taxation, employee provident fund, worksman savings account, depreciation fund. This all comes under the liabilities. After making a total of liability, you need to be deduct the total amount of liability from the assets. If you're going to be make a comparison of assets and liability or differences between assets and liability, the balance amount we are going to be call it as a net net value of asset available to shareholders, means all the shareholders. ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ನ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ನಾವು ನೆಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಟು ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್. The first condition, if any arrears are there towards the preferred dividend, that one we need to be make a payment. Keep it in the mind. Again, I am repeating. The condition is, if any arrears, means dividends previous years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ಇಂದ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್, ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್. After deducting these both preferential shareholders information from all the shareholders, I am going to be get the net value of assets available to equity shareholders. Concentration on here. If you want to calculate the net asset method, we have a formula that is intrinsic value of equity shares. Intrinsic value of equity shares equals net asset value available to equity shareholders. Concentration on here. The amount which is going to be available to equity shareholders, that one we need to be considered. Equity shareholders ಗೆ ಏನು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ಸ್. ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನ ನಾನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನನಗೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. The main formula for calculation of intrinsic value is this one. To identify the net value of assets available to equity shareholders, I need to be make a comparison between the assets and liability. ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನ ನನಗೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂಗೆ ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದಿ format of the net asset method and formula of the net asset method. Okay, fine. Thank you for watching this video. Shall we discuss the problem in the next class?